Let me tell you a secret. Most AI coding app tools can't actually build iOS apps, but there's one that can. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I built a full app, and I'm going to show you why I believe if you still want to build apps, it's still going to be important to learn how to code. If you're new here, I'm Chris. Let's get building. But before we get started, we need to first set up our development environment. Most vibe coding apps use a tool called React, and that's the main framework that they use for the UI. But React also has another version called React Native. Now this version, when you combine it with Expo, we can actually use that to build our full app. All we need to do is copy this magical command line right here and bring this into our tool that we're going to use to build our app. Now that we have this, let's use Cursor. Cursor is a smart text editor that actually has its own AI agent integrated right into the platform. It works very similar to Replit, except it has 10 times the power because you have full control of the code. Let's just paste in that magical command prompt here and everything gets started. Now we're going to use Expo, which will allow us to easily view our app either on our phone or in a simulation while we're still developing it. It's super simple. They have instructions on their website on exactly how you can download and set up the image. One quick note though, even though we aren't going to use it, you will need to download Xcode on your Mac. This allows you to have all of the dependencies that you're going to need in order to build this app. So for this app, let's do something fun. I want to build something visual. So let's try to recreate the classic game Flappy Birds. But don't worry, this method will work for any type of app that you're going to be building. We're going to use ChatGPT to set up our requirements prompt. It's going to make sure that we have the right foundation. Once we have that foundation, we'll be able to build on it. I'm going to use this prompt right here. Perfect. Now that we have our requirements prompt, let's go back to Cursor and paste this to set up our initial project. Okay, it looks like everything is set up now. All we have to do is run the install and run commands, and we should be able to see the first version of our app. Let's take a look. This is great. It's now running the simulator. Let's see if this works. We're going to click play, and then we're going to click start. Well, it looks like I'm not very good at this game. All right, let's try that again. Okay, the basic functionality is there, which is great, but it doesn't look very good. What we can actually do is we can give Cursor an example of how we want our game to look. Let's go over to Google to find an example of how we want this game to look. All right, now what's really great about Cursor is I don't need to just use the Cursor agent. I can actually use Claude Code or Codex. You can download the plugins directly inside Cursor. I already have them installed, so let's try giving Codex our example with this prompt. And let's see if the game runs. Okay, so I'm clearly not good at this game at all, but it does look better. Still some things we need to fix, but much better than what we had before. Now, I want to see if we can make it look a little bit better. Let's try giving Cursor Agent this time an example of how we want this app to look. Let's go back to Google and we'll just pick a different example, and we're going to paste this right into Cursor Agent. Great. Now that we have that, we can use this prompt and let's see what happens. Okay, looks a bit better, but we still have some things that we're still going to need to fix. Let's start by fixing this console issue. I'm just going to take a copy of this image and paste it right into Cursor Agent and ask it to fix the mistake. Perfect. The error's gone. Let's see what's next. How about we make sure that the start of the game is the main home screen so we don't need to keep hitting play every single time. Okay, looks like this works. Now all we need to do is add some sound. Here's where things get a little bit tricky. I need the sounds to be local because I don't want our app to have to depend on the internet to work. Getting the sounds to work was actually the hardest part of this design. I tried both Cursor and Codex, but it struggled to get it to work. I was about to give up and start looking at the actual code myself, but I decided to try one more thing. You see, one of the best things about learning how to code is it teaches you how to think through problems. When you're building apps, usually your code doesn't work the very first time. You're doing a lot of debugging, testing, printing to the console, trying to figure out exactly what you need to do to solve this problem. So what was the fix? Well, the agent put a test button to see which part of the sound wasn't working. It turns out that there was a conflict between the haptic feedback and the sound. So just to get a quick MVP, fix the conflict, and finally the sound started to work. Now the last steps was just adding a few polishes to the game. I wanted to remove any overlapping pipes, so I asked Cursor to adjust the minimum distance between each pipe. If the pipes are too close, then it becomes difficult for the users to react fast enough. As you can clearly see, I'm not even good at this game, so it probably needs to be a little bit easier. Now, the first part was simple enough, made the changes and no issues. And the second part, again, was really simple. All we had to do was just change the minimum distance. So now that we've gone through the entire process, let's take a look at the final app. All right, so everything is working, but clearly I'm still not really good at this game. So now you have the framework for building iOS apps with AI. Does that mean that everyone should stop learning how to code? Well, no. I don't believe AI will replace programmers. In my view, AI will help people who already know how to code write code a little bit faster. The biggest benefit to learning how to program isn't the syntax or the rules, it's actually learning how to think. The only reason why I'm able to build these apps is because I spent time learning how to code. But what do you think? Is this the end of programming? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to learn more about how to build using AI, then you're probably going to want to click this video right here.